So I found this little book and I've took the signature out, and I think it's going to be the perfect size for a little Shabby Chic notebook. So all I've done is sanded this because it's very, very shiny, and we're going to cover it in fabric and add some signatures, and we're going to make a hidden spine. It's going to be covered with lace, so I do hope you'll join me, and I'm going to try and do it all in this one video. So the first thing I've done, I've prepped ahead. I've chosen some fabric for my cover. I've got a basket full of laces and some paper for the inside. I've also pre-made my signatures. They are just blank pieces of paper, all different sizes. And the first thing I'm going to do is add some embellishing on the edges. So we're going to just pop over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to show you how I just sew down lace onto my papers. So I'm hopefully going to angle this so that you can see, and I'm going to just use my thickest papers like this one, and I'm just going to pick one of my laces and just stitch it on the edge of my paper. So I'm hoping that I can zoom in enough for you to see this. Just in case you haven't done it before, I'm not going to spend ages, I'm just going to show you what I do, then finish it all off. Just hold that, don't pull it, else it will pull all your pages together. Just gently stitch all the way down. If you don't have a sewing machine, absolutely no problem. You can just glue them on. It's exactly the same. I'm just going to carry on and turn it round. And this is what I'm going to do on as many of my pages as I've got these for. So I've put my lace on the end of my pages, just randomly through the book. And I've left all my dangly bits of threads. I may cut them off. I may leave them for whoever gets the journal to cut them off. I also found this little bit of trim that I've added, and I think it's looking gorgeous. Sometimes I decorate my pages before I stitch them in, but this time I'm going to show you how I'm going to put them in to this book, and then I'll decorate them afterwards. So what I've done is I'll cut a bit of file folder the same size as the centre of that spine so that the book will still close. And somewhere here we go, I'm going to cover this bit of fabric with this. I'm going to cover this with this, and I'm going to put this paper down. Very self-explanatory. I'm not going to go through every single step because I am sure you don't need me telling you how to glue. So let's just put this in the centre. We know it's the right size, so what we've got to do is just trim. Yeah, it's way too big. So what I'm going to do, I should have just put it on one side. I've made myself a lot more work, basically, is what I've done. So cut all around there, enough to fold over your edges, and you know, the little cut off the corners, take the bulk away. Not quite straight, but it's as, you know, it's all right. It will do very nicely. It will do very nicely. I'm going to stitch around this. I'm going to fold it in and just stitch all the way around because I think it will look nice rather than glue it. Okay, so I've just stitched around it. You can do exactly the same thing with glue. I'm now going to sew in my signatures. So these three will just be sewn into that. So I've added my signatures to the little spine, so it's all ready to go into the book. If you want to know how to do an invisible spine, then I do have a video which I'll link at the end of this one, so that you can go and have a look for yourself. So all we've got to do now is cover the book, and I've got a piece of fabric. We are going to trim it down slightly because it's way too big, and I think I will use my pinking shears because I want a nice edge. Well, it doesn't really matter because we're going to cover them up anyway, but let's start with a non-fraying edge. That would be handy, wouldn't it? Take off a little bit on the corners because that will help with lessening the bulk on corners. So just take a little triangle off. Get your glue stick ready because you're going to need to smooth your fabric down. And what we're going to do first is just glue the side down. Whoa, see, so much glue. And I'm going to just smooth it on. And bring this over. A nice straight edge, nice, covering all that red. Okay, so what I might do is just put a bit of glue, not too much, I don't want loads, and again I'm going to spread it out because I don't want to see any of this glue peeking through. We're going to smooth it on. And I'm not going to worry about my spine because I'm going to be covering that up anyway. Right. So it's looking good. Looking good. So what we're going to do now is stretch it slightly. And do this other side. This is how I do it. You may see different ways to glue your fabric on. You will find your own way if you haven't done it before. I tend to do the same thing every time. Okay, probably shouldn't be gluing on top of this. I'm going to go all the way up with the glue. And again, spread it in. And make sure that you go over your bit of fabric in that corner, because now you're going to fold this one over to join. This one I've cut a bit long, so just tuck it in like this and then fold it. And don't worry too much. It's a junk journal. They're not supposed to be perfect. They're handmade. There we go. Tuck this little bit in and fold. Sometimes it works better than others. There we go. Tuck in that little teeny tiny bit there and fold over. Now let that dry a little bit because you don't want to be messing with opening and shutting the cover just yet. Let's put a bit more glue on there. You can do some fiddling around at this point. You just want to get your corners done. I don't know what I've done there, but there you go. These things happen to us all. Okay, so what we've got to do now, apart from get all the glue off me, is make some little covers for the front and back. And I've got this paper, which I think will look really sweet. And it's just about big enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my eye and I'm going to measure. Yeah, no measuring again. Let me go, and I'm going to go just onto that there. There are different ways to do it, so you can just choose the way that suits you. I'm coming a little bit over. And trimming down the sides. Make it straight. I didn't want this bit, so that's gone. Okay, so you can now ink your edges if you want to ink. And then these get glued down. So here we go again, more glue. I'm going to use my paper because I don't really want to get it onto there. And in fact, I think the easiest thing to do is to glue this rather than my paper. A bit of glue all over and also down there. And again, handy little scraper. These little silicone scrapers are really, really good for this because once they get covered in glue, you can just wipe them. They just peel all the glue off. It's quite satisfying. And I'm going to put this one on here. There you go. Come down a touch. There we go. Push it down. Pretty much all that's left to do now is embellish the journal, which is, of course, the fun bit. Right, make sure this is down properly. There we go. You can put another piece of fabric or something on there, but I tend to just, you know, this is just a way to do it. You will find your own ways. But do use a good glue like Fabri-Tac, or this tacky glue is very, very strong. I didn't realise how strong it was. And now I've started using it as my fabric glue, so it's a little cheaper than the Fabri-Tac. So make sure it's all down, and then in that bend, just put your nail in. Just go underneath there, because you're going to sit your signatures on top. Okay. Now we're going to let it dry. Make sure you've got a nice good fold there. You can get a bone folder out and use that if you've got one handy. I may have cut that one slightly short, but I think we'll be all right. Right, I'm going to let that dry for a few minutes before I actually close the book. But what I can do is glue this in. So again, more glue all over. And you can put glue on your knots. So that will stop them coming undone. Not that they should anyway, but you know, you don't want that, do you? You don't want your knots coming undone. And just position your little block in the centre, like that. Again, do you know what? I am going to get my bone folder because this is a good place to use it. Up between the signatures, making sure it's all glued down. And that little bit of fabric that I had sticking out, you can tuck it in at this point if you want it to be really neat. It's just another way of making a little journal. Okay, so we're just going to decorate the cover. Yeah, I know it's got a cover, but I want to add more, more lace, because it's that sort of journal. And I've got some pieces out. I've dug into my stash, and I've made this for my little name. It's called Secret Garden. We are going to just play with these and see what we can do with them. So I've got a variety of, which way up? I don't know which way up it goes. It looks like that way. A variety of different shades. And what I want to do is wrap around. Not quite big enough, but well, if we go there and come round, that might work. And I want something else down the front. I've got this gorgeous piece that I want to put on the top. It's got little sequins in. So that's going on top. I want something down there, and I did find this. This is all so soft. And I'm wondering if I can put that down there. Like that. It's all screwed up. Don't be screwed up. Maybe that ends better. There we go. So that can come over the edge with all the rest of the laces. And then we'll put this over that. And do I want net? I think, I don't know, I've had such a struggle with netting. This is just lace curtains, you know, nets. And I want that bit up at the top. So I'm going to put that up there and wrap that round. And we'll do the back in a minute, I think. I've got a little bit here. Not quite sure. I'm just going to lay that on. I've got a big doily that I've cut off something. I'm just layering on. I love this as well, but I think that might be too... Oh, don't come off. Right, stay there. I'm just layering up. Oh, I've got this gorgeous soft net as well. How about we just sort of lay that on and then put this on, maybe up there. Put this underneath. It's all trial and error. Just grab your scraps out and just have a bit of a play. Now let's come a bit further down. Now I'm not sure if I'm putting this at the bottom or at the top. I quite like it like that. That looks quite nice. But I do want to put this big piece on the front. Like this. Oh, just look. It's so gorgeous. But then that's all covered up. And I could put this on. Going round. I've got this one. And I've got this. Well, we could have like some here. I could cut that and just do the other bit on the back. So I could have that one come in like that. Or we can have this one up there. I've completely covered that doily up now, and I don't really want to do that. Let me put this down here. Let's have a bit of a switcheroony. I'll put this here. Put this sort of dangling over the edge, because I love it dangling over the edge. And put this on. And then this one up here. What about that? Oh, decisions. I wish you could talk to me. How about putting that underneath there? Like that. Talk to me, people. I quite like that. Not sure. I'm not sure about this big chunky doily. It's like it's too chunky for this little journal. Quite like that. I don't know what layer it would be under. Maybe under that layer, like that. Now you can't see it at all. How about the bottom? How about coming out the bottom? Something like this. Oh, yes. Oh, I quite like that. Right, I think I'm going to glue it down, because I think I'm just going to be changing my mind every 2 seconds if I don't. So what I might do is peel these back. This is the tricky bit now. Right, so I have opened a new tube of Fabri-Tac, and I bought this by mistake on Amazon, and it's the tiniest bottle, and it was still like £10 or something, and I was not very happy. It's going to last me like no time at all. Right, so spread, because we don't want to see that through the lace. And we're going to put down the first. Oh, no, that's not the first layer, is it? This is the first layer, but we need to add this on before we put that on. Okay, so a bit more. Oops, up. Did I go on the edge? I think I went on the edge. Very tricky. I'm going to put blobs. I'm putting blobs. Just layering it up. What was next? This one. Did we put it at the bottom? Or was it at the top? No, it was at the bottom. I'm sure it was at the bottom. I'm sure it was. I might glue this bit, because you can glue on these bits that aren't going to come through. I don't want to glue too far down, because some of it's sticking out, so I don't want to glue the bits that are sticking out. There we go. I didn't glue that, did I? Even if I do, that will just stick to that. Right, then this one, which I'm going to sort of fold up a bit, because I think that just looks a bit more interesting, because it's very, very fine. There's probably enough glue on there, I would imagine. And then just sort of put it down sort of pretty like. Okay. Oh, we didn't do this bit. Where was this bit? Are we putting that bit on? We think we were. The more layers, the more interesting it will look. You don't need a lot of glue. Just enough. Let's just add. It will all stick. I've used it before. This piece we need on, don't we? Will we go in that way? I think we're going like that. So I'm going to do this bit. That's going to come up there. And then this one will come across the whole front. Right, I think it looks nice like that. Now, where was this? Was that going at the top or the bottom? I can't remember. I think it was up there. We do seem to have a gap. I definitely like it up the top. Right, so I've got a bit of a space, and I'm wondering, I think it's too much. Oh, we didn't put that on. Was this one supposed to go on? Maybe I need something else. Let's have another look. Oh, I could put some of that on. Let me get rid of some of this edge. It's a bit thick, isn't it? Just keep adding little bits of glue. It'll be absolutely fine. You can always add some more if you don't think it's going to stick, but it doesn't take much to stick these little tiny bits of lace. Right, let's turn you over and we'll have a bit of a go down the spine. Just get that on. It'll probably come through, but yeah, we just add a bit more and layer it round. Well, I've got 2 layers. Well, that's all right. Let's just put that up there. There we go. And then this bit, all the little bits from the front, I'm just going to wrap around like that. And the book cover is just sort of the base. So you can, I chose a pretty one because some of it might show through. I want to use something different I haven't used, and can't see anything in there. Oh, hang on. Now, if we cut that off, I think that would do the trick. Where's my big scissors? Let's just chop that. I do take these off sometimes, and you just cut it and then rip. Leaves a nice edge. I think if we put that on there, that will just finish that off really nicely. How about we just put that on? Maybe I'll take that one off. I like that. I'm putting that one on. And I think that will be it. Yeah, it's going to take some time to dry, and then I'll have a little play with it. But that is her all finished, pretty much, apart from all the decorating. And I just think she's absolutely gorgeous. I hope you do too. She will be for sale when I've finished her. So if you want dibs, let me know. And I will see you all next week when we're maybe doing some carrying on in there, or I may be doing something completely different. I don't know. Depends what I feel like. I'll see you very soon, guys. Bye for now.